Vedi. Abs. Magnus Sword comes down, he has a Valkyrie, but here comes more! The true shot barrage!
I'm fine. Together. Yeah, I can chill you, Nice. Kill them all. I can chill you.
And Sama dashing away from Oscarinin, dodges the attack. Humanoid finds one. It's Oscar and Humanoid versus Yike. And I damn well like those odds! Munich! Stand up!
Ginny here, and we are gearing up for the Kia Cosplay Contest. We have some incredible cosplays from your favorite champions on the Rift, but I'm so excited to be seeing them here in real life, competing for the cash prize. I'm also really excited to get a chance to talk to them, to talk about everything cosplay related, and see what they have in store.
Mädchen on Instagram, and I'm cosplaying since 2016. I'm super happy to be here in Munich this weekend and to cheer for the teams tonight and tomorrow. He means a lot to me. He's an artist. I can relate to him. It's the perfect hobby for me here.
My name is Sharon. My social media is Sulia Sama. I love cosplay. I do it for like over 10 years. I started the process a year ago and I tried to replicate the cosplay to a perfection. Yeah, I wanted to look like Briar in real life. That was my goal, really.
What's it been like for you to have this cosplay contest being set up by Kia?
I'm just so happy I can be here and show off my craft and show it to the people, and everyone is so happy when they see you. And I'm really thankful that Kia sponsored this contest.
I'm Katashini Costumes, a cosplayer for 2 years now, so this is my second cosplay actually. It's really awesome to get together, to meet new people I haven't known before.
Those were some incredible cosplays, some great interaction, but most importantly, some lovely human beings. So make sure that you follow your favorite cosplayers on their socials and spread some of that love. That's it for us. We're done here at the Kia Cosplay Contest. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and we will see you next time.
Thank you, Ginny. That was sick. Absolutely insane. The tech for cosplayers and the craft that they put. For me, the Hui is an absolute winner here. I love the brush. I love the painting behind her. She looked absolutely amazing.
And I love that she was like, yes, I can relate to him so much because that's exactly what they do. These are artists, pillars of our community. The winners were Kate, Briar, and Hui. Also, by the way, the Briar who really went in on that
blood.
doll.
Yeah.
Oh, that was great. Oh, I love it. Congratulations to everyone. Also, if you didn't win, you did an insane job. And I also want to congratulate Fnatic. They closed a game from an advantage in the first time in 5 games versus G2.
And round of applause for finally breaking that curse and finally taking that game in a final. But I gotta say, job's not done, all right? But this was the first test that they had to go through tonight. Can they come back from a deficit against G2 or when they've already been down 1 time? And I think showing it here in game 2 that they have the capabilities of doing so lets you have hope for the rest of the night.
And not only that, honestly, having the mental resilience to come back the way they did after game 1 and the way it went, mad props to them.
It's awesome. I think my analysts are going to criticize them just a little bit, even in a win, just because similarly to game 1, I feel like a lot of focus on kills, not necessarily on objectives in that early game, which can be risky.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like it's just the curse of the game state, because a lot of times they're just being forced in this trade-offs where they're getting gold but they're not getting objectives, and G2 is capitalizing very well on that. But it's just more so that they're not really leveraging their gold very well in the moments straight to follow. But I do guess they did win this game, and it did make sense, a lot of the trades that they have been doing so far.
No, I mean, I completely agree, and it's a great bounce back from Oscar as well in that top side. After getting solo killed by BB on stage, quick bounce back with his Razork coming up here. But you're right, Eve, because this bleeds into a larger point. It's the fact that despite Fnatic getting these kills, and you'd think them getting an advantage. They're actually not. They're not finding gold leads. They're not finding objective leads. And it's kind of what's holding them back in the early game. But I will say, though, G2's draft was a bit difficult to pilot. And I think that made it really hard.
And I completely agree here. The thing is that you have a lot of follow-up when it comes to CC, but you don't have hard lock-in CC on the side of G2. And I feel like this is what they were missing here, because even though Fnatic were stacking kills, G2 were stacking objectives. When it came to these later objectives, and especially this one, you can clearly see that if Poppy doesn't find a good ult, if Rakan doesn't find a good engage, it's going to be so hard to follow up on this, and then it goes in the advantage of Fnatic afterwards.
Definitely, because it looked really good for that one for G2, but at the same time, that whole game transitioned into this sort of style of whoever engages first will lose the game.
Also, Laure hates Gwen.
I'm sorry, but I feel like we kept on seeing the pick since yesterday. I don't see what it brings. I love the fact that we bring AP champions on the Rift for what it opens in the draft, especially in the mid lane. I really don't feel like Gwen is a hit for now.
No, I mean, I think there's probably a vision where G2 found a time where Gwen looks great, but I think when you combine it with the entire draft, you suddenly struggle. Poppy is playing into range. She's never really going to find that W value into the enemy team comp. You have Mikyx as your sole engage on the Rakan, and while he did a great job in the fight we just saw now, when you go to the late game and Smolder has finally ramped up, how are you really playing into these fights? Seri outrange, Corki trading with the Smolder, it's just not working out. So I'm kind of done with the Gwen, I'm not going to lie.
What?
Even though it was creative, and we did see it many times that they were trying to do this solo Nash, because it looked like Fnatic saw it before, because every time Azir ult was off cooldown, they would throw it on Nash. There is some cooking to the Gwen, but we have seen it fail twice. I want them to go away from it and go into start something a little bit more specific, because again, for me, going from the draft into this game, it felt impossible for G2 to play.
More than just Gwen, I want to see them build something that's more coherent and that opens more possibilities when it comes to team fighting, because we know that G2 usually are going to be really good when it comes to getting the advantage on the map, but Fnatic proved that they have the ability to fight, they have the ability to strike back, and if for me G2 don't build something that's more maybe team fight oriented with a lot of CC or follow-up, it's going to be hard for them.
And for me, it's not about, you know, Fnatic not doing anything special, because their draft has been really, really good. Yeah. Game one, their draft has been really, really good. But I really want G2 to make these adaptations so we can have another game one banger.
Perhaps we will get those adaptations. They're moving on to the blue side, on the side of G2. Now, a big question for me is also the Smolder.
Absolutely.
I know it didn't win game one, but Humanoid is extremely comfortable on it. It has huge impact in those team fights as well, and it's been crushing it. Do you take it off the table?
I mean, I would love to. I think it's either a takeaway pick from Caps. We've already seen him play the Smolder himself. You can ban the Corki if you don't want to play into it, but it's also one of those things where Smolder's just too easy to play. Like, once you go late game...
Oh, so Humanoid is actually trash? It's just easy?
I mean, that's not what I'm saying, but I am just saying in terms of piloting this champion, it's very difficult to make mistakes in the late game. You just need to find those cues. Doesn't even have to be on the target, can be in minion waves, can be in anything. Very oppressive to play into.
Noob champ. Guldborg said it.
Yeah, well,
it is noob champ, yeah. I would agree, because game one and game two, even though he played Smolder, there were two completely different trajectories for the Smolder. Game one, it was winning lane phase. Game two, it fell behind, and the way this champion got ahead was in these random skirmishes around the Drake.
And when you look at both teams, it's mostly been about mid laner and AD carry, and who's going to have the better duo and the better setup in that matter. And I feel like if you keep on having Smolder, you're going to have the upper hand.
Okay, we all don't want to see Smolder. I gather we would also rather not see Gwen. What is your gut telling you? The fact that we came into this saying Fnatic has a lot of demons to slay going into this one, and when they lost game one, we were thinking it was just going to go down the same route. But resilience here is the key word.
Resilience and one man, Razork, in the jungle. For such a long time, he was fighting these inconsistencies, but throughout this year especially, he really rose and became the Fnatic captain that we were expecting him to be, and he's been spot on, stellar so far. Maybe not so much in game one, but game two, when you give him champions like Ivern, that's going to give him a lot of potential to help his teammates around and create the setup team fight that they want. It's the prime Razork I wanted to see here.
Absolutely.
Tonight.
The Euphoria episode is called King of the Jungle for a reason. Vedius knows everything about that, so let's kick it over to our casters for game three.
Yeah, Betty.
I do. I know everything about
everything.
Razork. It was a pleasure chatting to him. He was very candid.
When did he say his first words?
Sorry?
What age did he say his first words?
He actually was so intelligent. He was already figuring out jungle pathing before he was even born.
Yeah, that does make sense. He is incredibly good.
We're going to be jumping into draft and adaptation as G2 return to the blue sides. This time they'll get their hands on first pick. Where will Smolder fall in the priority list? Is Corki still going to be the first lock-in for G2? As Ashe expected to be the denial, once again. Hans Sama has showcased his priority on that. But also, what about this Ezreal? Because continuously we're seeing Noah with strong performances and good damage on the champion.
It is interesting, though, with G2 going across the blue side now, how this is going to start to mix things up, right? Because I think the Vi very strong still against Razork. The Ashe and the Misfortune not fully surprised on. I think a lot of what Fnatic were hoping for on blue side was that they'll be able to sneak away there and get their hands on that Misfortune. But Maokai still up and available. I think you do need to try and deny that here as Fnatic. It's just such a potent pick, unless they are hoping that maybe G2 Esports try and go for something like a Rell or something along these lines, and you can go for that Corki Maokai yourself.
So, Corki, Ezreal, Smolder, Maokai, all still available, and the Rell. And it looks like it might be a Rell first pick for G2. They got rid of the Poppy, they got rid of the Braum. You can play Alistair into that Rell as well if you are Fnatic.
I think Jun was just so good on it in the last game, denying Mickey so often, at least the crucial moments. And now, is it just the Maokai Corki in response?
Maokai Corki, when in doubt.
You've never seen it before.
Well, do Fnatic care? Obviously, it's been a huge priority throughout Season Finals, but they're taking their time. They're thinking about this. They've already seen the Rell lock-in. There's a lot of champions available. And with the Ezreal still open, is this something that they want to get their hands on? Leona going to be the lock-in, but the Maokai immediately alongside it.
Maybe they're hoping that Caps ends up taking the Corki here, and they can actually take Humanoid's Yone on pick 3 here. I mean, it's been really strong for him.
Even Smolder on 3. Like, Humanoid is winning mid. Like, he is obviously having a bit of help from his friends at times, but both the games we've had so far today, I would say Humanoid has had more impact as a mid laner. G2 looking towards Rek'Sai right now. Kalista also a possibility. When you ban out Poppy, when you ban out Braum, it does lean you towards a Kalista. So it's going to be Kalista Rell in the bottom side for G2. Less flexibility than we're used to so far in this draft. Often we're like, oh, it's a Zeri, it could be one of 7 roles. It's a Rell, it could be one of 18 roles, you know.
But let's be real, when you played 108 series against each other, or games against each other, you probably know each other fairly well,
pretty
right?
Well, pretty well.
Like, there's no point trying to flex. But it's actually only the Varus taking in this third rotation. So
there's that flexibility, Medic.
Yeah, it's come.
It's something we've seen banned away a little bit, coming into like your second rotations of bans, but never really seen it picked up that early, because can be top, can be mid, can be AD carry, and I think as well, even taking it for Noah in that bottom side may not be the worst thing. Even if you build him the poke build, just getting control over that mid lane can help out wonderfully, and also providing that CC to try and lock down the Kalista.
So what do we now ban away? Fnatic. They are likely going to have to... I mean, this is one of the rare occasions where G2 often prioritizes their mid lane champion. Things like Corki is something that they often look to lock in very early on, but this time around, Fnatic is going to have to blind pick something, whether it be top or mid. I imagine they're going to want to try and actually get the favorable matchup for Humanoid, given how things are going. So maybe they want to remove some of the things that could be good into things like the Cassante blind, which could be a priority for Fnatic.
Yeah, I think that's what they're trying to set up here, is just take Cassante and R4 and then hold on to that flexibility with the Varus and figure out exactly what you want to try and do with it. Curious though to see what are G2 cooking. They aren't convinced as to where this Varus is going, so it's going to be the Smolder basically basing Fnatic, saying, look, if you do not take this Corki, we're going to try and get our hands on it ourselves.
Sana, the respect once again towards Caps. There's so many champions that he's comfortable on, but so far in this finals, we haven't really felt the Caps effect. He's been annoying on the side lanes. We've still seen him put out damage in the team fights, but he's yet to really make his presence known so far in the finals.
And when you already have an AP jungler, you're really looking for some physical damage in the mid lane. So getting rid of the Tristana, getting rid of the Yone, even though G2 did that for you, makes it a little bit easier. Obviously, there are things like the Corki that it looks like Fnatic are going to take, the Zeri as well, the Ezreal made its way all the way through pick ban so far.
You know, he hovered the Sylas yesterday, and while it would be AP mid jungle, I think Sylas into Maokai is a great pick.
Yeah.
I think you're right that he's going to lean more towards the AD mid laner. But what direction can he even go? Cheeky hover of the Malzahar.
Have you seen any rats around the stream?
No, I haven't.
I was just wondering, you know. Instead, it's okay.
Classic.
So this is actually something that's been crazy high presence in G2 series. It was fully present in the BDS series and the MDK series. I was curious when we're going to see Caps' Azir come out. It looks like this is going to be it. Game number 3 of our finals.
It has been banned out. It wasn't banned. Oh, it was?
Yeah, BDS and MDK. It wasn't banned today.
It wasn't banned today. It's been banned out before. I was wondering if that Varus might be flexed up towards the top side. Instead, it's going to be Noah on the Varus. Oscar taking the Camille into Cassante matchup that we saw him win. I believe it was against 369 at MSI. Obviously, that was a while ago, but he's very comfortable in this matchup.
I mean, it's a confidence pick too, right? And I think that that's such a big deal for Fnatic. We've seen them on the stage last year. We've seen them in finals against G2. And sometimes it's that confidence that falters. And today they've come in with a game plan. We're going to meet G2 at their level. We're going to go toe-to-toe and we're going to give it everything we've got. And Oscarinin said, you know what? I'm feeling confident in this matchup, so lock it in for me. It's great lockdown for both Azir and the Kalista. The thing you have to be careful of is getting in range of the brand is always going to be a scary thing to do. The Azir ultimate to act as that disengage is also another threat. But if left unchecked in a side lane, Oscar can be a major threat.
And how often have we seen these games thus far being reduced to side lane pressure? Caps pushing, Humanoid pushing. If Oscarinin can now throw his towel into the match as well and say, I'm going to win out wherever you place me up against this Cassante, wherever you place me up against this Azir, that can be the straw that breaks the camel back in this game in favor of Fnatic. And Oscarinin has been so good this season finals, so good this finals. Now he's such a favourable matchup. We'll have to see if he can pop off once more.
Missed the last one due to a hand injury. Now here in Munich, he makes his stand. As you say, he's had BB's number in both the games. Getting ahead on the cannon, obviously Broken Blade has had a big impact as well, but Oscarinin is having the finals of his life. Is it enough? Is it enough? The catchphrase of Fnatic fans over the last few years. For G2, it's always been enough. Come into the league in 2016, win 4 on the trot. And then only a short sabbatical in 2018 before you were back to winning ways. For Fnatic, it's been a long time. This game doesn't put you as the LEC champions, but it damn well gets you close.
Match point. One of our teams has to get there. And of course, with Worlds on the horizon, both teams looking to show what they've got ready for the international stage. It will be here in Europe this year.
That was a cool sign.
They'll bait and switch.
Yeah.
Let's see how things pan out. Caps back on Azir. You already heard Dagda talking about it in the draft, but it's a champion that, I mean, teams have respected. It is a champion that he is incredibly comfortable on. The plays that he's been able to make, the side lane threat that he consistently has in the late game. You don't really think of this champion as a backdoor champion, but Caps has made it one. Set our sights in the bot lane, 2 versus 2. Varus, a champion that can go a little bit more toe-to-toe with the Kalista compared to the Ezreal.
No, excuse me, look at Broken Blade's HP. Like, that's 150, 180, 2 minutes into the laning phase. Now, he does have Door and Shield and some biscuits, but if Oscarinin hits 2 first, Broken Blade, no flash, remember. Let's be in for a world of hurt. 2 will be hit for G2. They'll get that early push, the early pressure that forces Jun and Noah to back away. Oscarinin with a tactical sweep. Broken Blade has to slowly walk his way away, but he's away from the wave now.
And it doesn't get easier for Broken Blade. Yike is pathing bot side, so he has to try and fix this by himself, but Oscarinin has the biscuits in his back pocket. He's going to be able to trade very effectively, and when he hits level 3, having full access to his kit, that could be a kill.
Look at the wave state too.
That's doomed.
It's just pushing away from Broken Blade. Those Qs I just haven't helped him at all. It's done too much damage to the minions, and Oscar's doing the smart thing. He's basing. He knows that the wave is pushing towards him. You don't touch that wave. You let the cannon do the work. Broken Blade forced to go back to base. He's just going to get himself a refillable. Oscarinin looking to do the same thing, but now a level advantage, and Broken Blade is in a lot of danger. Razork pathing towards the top side. Could give Fnatic another lead. Mikyx
flashing, trying to get the cleanse out of Noah. Zenith Blade going in, and Hansam not quite under the tower. Noah ignited as well.
Now we turn our attention to Yike. As the top lane becomes a threat for Broken Blade, the bot lane becomes a threat for Noah. Yike has already made his way across. They need to get this wave underneath the tower. The wave is in an awkward spot, top 2. Both teams set their sights on an early lead.
Looks like Noah's going to be able to get that recall off. Razork running towards the top side. Broken Blade loses the Q3, has popped the Ghost, and that's all that will happen there. Jun has the Eclipse, will tank up Mikyx. The passive from Yike doing a lot of work, but Mikyx tanking the tower, and with the Ignite it will be enough. Jun's still alive, Hansama, if you want to, you die! Jun able to walk away. Yike still has the flash, will he go for it? The answer's yes. Noah has a flash, will he chase? Hansama on 200 HP, the piercing arrow still connects. There's not enough to kill the ADC.
Noah knew that Hansama still had that flash, so it doesn't follow over the wall. Another Q. Could spell disaster, though. Does he read where Hansama's backing? Oh, just a little late. The auto goes on to the head in the river and not onto the head of Hansama as Oscarinin takes a nice trade, but good dive finally comes through. You should be happy with a kill onto Brand rather than Leona.
It was all part of the plan. Mikyx just wanted the fast recall back out on the map and looking for Oscarinin, who has the flash, but can he dash away from Mikyx? Shadowing Strike, the option here. He's holding, but Oscar able to buffer. The hookshot wall dive out in time. Razork on his way towards the top side. Broken Blade, half HP, no 6, of course, only level 5. 4 still. The way pushed in.
They're waiting for Jun. They want to try and make this play, but Yike was beelining there. Not sure as to where the Brand is right now.
Broken Blade slowed with the tactical assault. They'll look for more. The sweep comes in. Hex Splash knocked back, Bramble Smash coming out. Yike's here to join the party, the Pathmaker finds 2, and Brand can do a lot of work with his passive in this sort of situation. Mikyx, the sapling! It looks so cute, but it brings death. Fnatic able to walk away, the Zenith Blade back in, Jun's not done yet today! A tactical sweep is a tactical death for Yike, and now Broken Blade is left alone against 3. Oscar Lowe, he survives just somehow! Clinging onto the precipice of life, Fnatic find 3 in the top lane!
How did Fnatic bring that back from the edge? The health bars were blinking, but blinking you miss it, and it might be Humanoid though who has to pay the price.
Shadowing Strike coming out, that's crashed down as well. He's slided in underneath the tower. I don't think Humanoid survives this one, almost gets caps, but he can't do enough damage to topple the Azir.
Fnatic claim everything the top. Mikyx salvages the mid, but it's a disaster for G2.
Keep your eyes on Yike. It's so crucial that he connects his skills, but as the engage comes through, the pillar doesn't connect, the Q doesn't connect. There just isn't any damage from Yike. And then he decides to overextend. He thinks that with the HP bars, his cooldown's coming off, that they can get something back at least. But the very tip of the Zenith Blade connects, the CC connects. And it is Fnatic that in the extended trade find 3.
There's no passive ring for Yike. But
meanwhile, Noah has to cleanse flash away, and Mikyx still on the chase on Summer. Puts spear after spear into his back, and Noah, he didn't catch the arc. Buried under the waves of G2, Mikyx looking for more with another Shadowing Strike. Jun still on the chase with an advance going forward as Razork still half HP here. Remember, I think G2 can turn this one around if Fnatic overextend, but with Humanoid on the way, they're looking for reinforcements, all out used in the top side as Oscarinin is able to dodge away. Broken Blade invests the ultimate with the wave shoved in. Looks like they won't get too much more. Mikyx staying under the tower, that's the aftershock. They'll wait for that to go off and then they can just go in for the engage. He's not back with a Rambo Smash, and even with the crash down, the fade's called just in time to pull him out of dodge. He dashes back in onto Humanoid. Mikyx survived him for so long, but he has to flash away, and even that won't save him today. A double for Humanoid. Caps will clean up the pieces, but it's janitor duty for the Azir, and it's all coming up Fnatic.
The roar of the crowd is what a player like Humanoid lives for. With the crowd at his back, he saw the angle, he saw the play, and he gets 2 kills. Fnatic with a great sequence of events, because G2, when they find themselves in the chaos, they throw themselves into it. Mikyx looking for plays all across the map. And as they find this play on the bot side, Fnatic say, we're not going to let you have this wave. They look to punish G2, and you see Humanoid see the angle.
It looks like chaos, but it's calculated from Fnatic. Gets the kill on Mikyx and on towards Hansama. The 2-for-1 is a special. And you can even look at mid lane, Noah being able to shove in that wave means that Caps ends up losing out on a good amount of that. Yes, it's collected by Yike, but look at the gold at the bottom of your screens. 800 for Oscarinin, the lead for Humanoid. Fnatic are in full control of this game right now.
important to take stock that through all that chaos, the Grubs did go down in favor of G2. Fnatic are finding kills, they're finding these small incremental leads individually, but Hansama still with an advantage in the bot lane 2 versus 2, something that Noah is struggling to get control over the wave. Razork has spent a lot of time ganking for his lanes, but it has come at the cost of some of his farm, and he is a little bit behind in terms of experience. Yike now can turn his attention towards the Dragon, as it's Caps with the push in mid, and Hans with the push in bot. The ultimate is available for Razork, but it looks like he has no interest in trying to fight this, given that his laners aren't really in a position to contest.
No priority, they're going to back away. Flash is about to come up for Razork, so he can just help out in case G2 trying to turn a Dragon into a bot dive, but I think they're just going to be happy taking that objective instead. Fnatic take a breather for the moment, but as you say, Vedi, it's G2 with full objective control, and just a minute now until those Void Grubs spawn.
I mean, the terrifying thing about both teams is that Fnatic is a team that thrive in this type of chaos, where individual talent really gets this opportunity to shine, where they can just create these moments where they kind of drag you into the mud with them. I have to cut myself off as the top lane has become the focus.
I mean, Hexagol made him going down. Broken Blade's able to dash away for the moment. Caps coming in as well. Will Oscarinin overextend. Instead, decides against it. Broken Blade doing a good job of not tanking the tower as he was looking for that Demolish proc.
Gotta be careful though. Caps getting collapsed on. Oscar with not a lot of mana. Gets away to safety.
Here.
Just gets the fleet footwork proc. We give him a bit of movement speed to walk away, but it's a love tap and a quick goodbye from Caps. Oscarinin getting control on the top side, and Humanoid keeps to get pushing mid, so that roam from Caps amounts into 0.
I mean, honestly, a waste of time for Caps. TP now going to be used by the Cassante into the mid lane to make sure that not too much farm is lost. But my comment earlier about how Fnatic thrive in the chaos, G2 are constantly thinking about trading on the map. They turn their attention to see what can we get, what can we actually turn this into. A plate secured on the bot side, they've brought Caps up towards top to get Cassante out of this very difficult matchup. And now with the Grubs respawning, look, the swap has come through. G2 is again ahead of the play, they're ready to secure this objective, and Oscar now too low to really contest.
And Razork not in position to try and cross map, so Oscarinin, he's got a dip. Razork will stick around because you imagine Oscarinin will just TP back to make sure he can defend the tower, but G2 going to be happy with that continued objective control. Everyone on Fnatic just kind of window shopping here as they start to move to try and defend top turret.
6 Grubs, a Mountain Drake. The gold lead still in Fnatic's favor, but with the plates going down for G2, and with the power that 6 Grubs give you, that's double might spawns, those plates will fall even faster. For the moment, you can see a lead for Hansama, as there has been after every laning phase across the course of this series, about 600 gold ahead. That's mirrored by Oscarinin in the top side, 570 his lead. And playing slightly in Humanoid's favor, but Caps having a bit more of an active performance in this early game. The other 2 games has been a bit quieter here. 2-0-0 on his signature Azir.
I think that is the benefit of what the Azir can bring. You can actually be a playmaker versus Corki, which is a bit more of a passenger in some of these fights in the early stages, but still have to try and deal with a very threatening side lanes coming through for Oscarinin and Humanoid. That lead has fallen a little bit for Oscarinin, but may be about to pick it on up.
Tactical sweep comes out. There's the Hexagol made him as well. Broken Blade going in with the Pathmaker. That's half HP. He's still got the all out, but Fnatic on the wrong side of him for that. Sapling comes down, and the Nature's Grass won't be enough. Broken Blade able to get away with the Ghost.
Ultimately, pressure gained for Fnatic though. Oscarinin can do some good damage to this bot tower. Brand is going to be forced to stick around. What else can happen on the map for Fnatic? There's not really any objectives for them to take. Maybe they can consider a dive, but Mikyx is here to cover.
Q-flash, Q-flash, Q-flash.
TP as well.
TP behind, Mikyx looking for the crash down. Oscarinin flashes away, but Caps immediately TPs into the clutches of a twisted advance from Razork. Has to use the Shurima, the Emperor's Divide, in fact.
Could have been a flash engage from Noah as well there to try and lock him down, so he definitely needs to get out, but a lot invested there by G2 to try and get in onto the bottom side, and it's now Hansama moved forward on mid, but Humanoid going to continue to push in this top side as well.
This is a great example of how, even though Fnatic are making moves on the map, G2 just don't settle. They use their TPs to find an opportunity, the flank from Caps there to try and punish Oscar, and they end up getting his flash. Broken Blade has now been able to once again get out of that matchup, turns his attention to top. Caps is now catching bots. They've got these very fluid lane assignments that are constantly coming through, and Fnatic constantly feel like they're playing catch-up. The Dragon is now in 50 seconds time. BB's TP will be available for it. He's in the best position for that. They've kept the Kalista in mids, And now the brand is hovering bot against a flashless Oscar.
Caps is waiting in around the corner, dashes in. Oscar down to a 3rd HP, making look for the chase. Pyroclasm flashes it. And that's a well-done stake if I've ever seen one.
Just a great sequence of events from G2. From burning the flash into the correct lane assignments, into then the lane gank from Yike. G2 thinking ahead, and now with the dragon spawning in 20 seconds, Fnatic don't really have a way to contest.
And Broken Blade even able to sneak out on the top side. Fnatic were thinking of trying to set up for a dive, but he just hid in the bush. Now teleporting back in. The ultimate already committed though.
Dangerous. Broken Blade still has the all-out. Pathmaker coming out. Humanoid tanking the tower first. Now Razork has that joy. Shield of Daybreak going in, and Broken Blade still able to dash the solar flare. The power of the sun was what was needed to kill off Broken Blade in the top lane.
Broken Blade was lit up as they try and go for that topside dive, but they don't get the tower there. In fact, they actually have to back away as G2 starting to move into position. Rift Herald is what they'd really like, but because Razork tanks so much of that tower, they actually can't stick around after the play.
I mean, I will say that TP really didn't make much sense to me. I guess he thought he could survive in the 1 versus 3, but I feel like that cost G2 a big advantage. Ultimately, they should still be able to secure this top tower, though. Fnatic with the kill lead for now. They're not in a position to contest the Herald.
Tiny thing that I really like from Mikyx there. He steps forward, takes tower aggro to get 2 mites to spawn, which then means Caps can step forward and attack the tower a couple of times when the mites are tanking it up. Still don't get the tower, they still have to wait for the next wave, but it was close, and they might have been able to get it 1 wave faster, which would have allowed Caps to be out on the map a little bit quicker. Instead, Fnatic go out on the map first, they'll get the Drake, their first of the game.
But it's those couple of seconds that might get them this top tower. Look at the positioning from G2. You will lose bot, but they can commit multiple members here in that 6 Void group. But we've seen this weekend how quickly you can take towers, and here comes the Rift Herald to boot.
No solar flare now for Jun. That's a lot of mites coming in. Shield of Daybreak used on Mikyx, dodges the pillar of flame, and Fnatic will be able to clear off the Rift Herald before she does any more damage to that top tier 2.
So interestingly, we spoke to Razork on the podcast, and he talked about how using this Herald for the tier 2, there's that debate between using it mid versus using it on sides, and he believes that by using it on the side lane, it just gives you so much deeper access into the enemy jungle that you can then transition that strength into mid to be able to secure that objective. I don't know how easy that's going to be against a Varus plus a Corki, but you have to imagine that's part of the game plan from G2. Putting that extra pressure down on the side lane also sets up Caps to be that split push threat later.
That's what I was going to say. The opportunity to try and to siege underneath this tower is tough, but so G2 have to try and catch Fnatic as they go for these resets so they can try and take mid lane turn. With all 4 members here, Fnatic have now reset. Broken Blade on the way as well.
He just got solar flash, chain of corruption. Caps where you gotta go. He takes the tower too long, and then with the twisted advance in on Summer next on the menu. Oscarinin looking for a little bit more. He dashes in onto Mikyx. Hex the golden maiden puts down. Jun looking for the chase as well. The Zenith blade will follow Mikyx. And I'm not sure you escape the power of the piercing arrow. The all-out from Broken Blade takes Oscarinin for a ride, but he doesn't really care about that. Dive back across to safety. Fnatic once again find 3.
And that was just perfect timing for Fnatic. G2 thought they'd catch Fnatic in a reset and they could all group up on that mid lane turret, but the ultimate from Noah locking down Caps alongside Jun with a great solar flare means he's nowhere to go. And what was a 4v5 turns into an absolute disaster for G2 as Fnatic run them down.
Just a fantastic play from Jun. He's kind of got 2 members looking at him in that brush. And Caps wasn't expecting that at all. The chain CC to follow up, you talked about it, Dagda, and the way in which they converted that into multiple kills, great. They unlocked the top tower as well. Fnatic making a significant play to very quickly shift the control of the game in their favor.
And they're looking to move Oscarinin around the map now. He started to shove up towards his top side, I think hoping to catch G2 as they went for this play, but he's now disappeared with Jun down to the bottom side. So it looks like Humanoid will have to leave as well as G2 try to establish themselves on the top side once more.
18 minutes in, a 2,000 gold lead for Fnatic. Item and a half on Humanoid. Caps almost on his way to that Rabadon's TP behind here. It's a long way behind as Caps has already put up the Sun Disc. Sjokz coming out from Fnatic, so they want to look to take this fight. Mikyx rooted, Yike and Caps able to avoid it. TP coming in, Hansama, I'm not sure you're meant to be there, but they use him as the engage tool as the rest of G2 dive in. Mikyx on the backline, knocked back with a Nature's Cross, Jun taking up the rest of G2 to the top side, and somehow Hansama dashing in is everything that G2 wanted. Fnatic thought they could collapse, but in the end they're the ones flashing for their lives.
It was a split fight from Fnatic. Everyone tried to jump on Hansama, but it meant that Noah was overextended. He gets jumped on, and then everyone from Fnatic goes different directions, whereas G2 re-established the front-to-back fight, and they can take down Fnatic.
A crazy exchange as Fnatic lose the top tier 2. Hans loses his summoners, Mikyx the same. But look at this, flash gone from Razork, flash gone from Humanoid, flash and cleanse gone from Noah. Both sides expending so much. And with the dragon on the horizon, it's going to be an interesting affair that we're setting ourselves up for.
And it's only the second dragon of the game for either of these teams, so you could just not fight it.
That's
true. We could just go further, Betty. We could get to 30 minutes, 40 minutes. Again, in this game, only 1,000 gold between the two teams at 20 minutes.
Or we could give this crowd everything that it wants. Another fight in front of this dragon, but it looks like Fnatic. They may be taking your advice, Medic. The resets are coming through. The push was there for Oscarinin on that bottom side, but everyone going to take a step back.
Humanoid.
You hyped me up there, Rob.
Humanoid still waiting.
Fully ready for the fight. I don't want to tell people to boo Fnatic for not fighting, but it's kind of inside me right now, you know?
Humanoid wanted to wait. Still stacking up that mana Munate. The Mura mana not completed yet. But look at Caps, Death Cap with the Nashes completed. It would be so risky to take this fight right now, especially with Yike right beside him with 2 fully completed items. Oscar may have found Broken Blade.
Looks for Broken Blade. We can cheer Fnatic, it seems. They're looking for this fight here. They're trying to get the mid lane prio. Oscarinin does have to flash. He's going to have to use it, but the Emperor's Divine will knock him back. And perhaps not fighting was the right choice. Solar Play used by Jun in the mid lane as well as the Chain of Corruption hits onto Hansama just about with the Pillar of Flame coming down onto Jun and the Shattering Strike to follow it up. G2 fight 2. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Humanoid continues to push in, but can G2 look for more? Can they go towards the Baron? Doesn't seem like it.
Fnatic testing G2 and they just don't need to. Oscar, I mean, what was he looking for there with a trade against Broken Blade? He knows that he doesn't control the river. Now a TP flank response from Fnatic.
The problem is, he's seen. Like, Humanoid is entirely on vision here. Hex flash across the wall. Humanoid is now stuck between Caps and the rest of G2. Noah coming in as well, but no Chain of Corruption for him. Makes it very difficult. Dodge away from the Magna Storm. Noah taking out the Thunders. And Fnatic are just diving in. Caps will get 2. He'll be answered by 1 from Humanoid. But the gold swings in G2's favor once again. The Drake's still up, of course, if Fnatic want to go for the fight again. I'll oblige them, I'll cast that, but perhaps this time, don't go for it, Fnatic.
The kills were 5 to 10 in favor of Fnatic, and now it's 10 to 11. All across the map, Fnatic falling prey to silly mistakes. They're getting caught out, and they're giving G2 much more than they need to.
The Emperor's defense system was online, making it look like they were trying to crack open the Tomb of Tutankhamun, but everything falling awry for them. They just walked straight underneath the turret. And now G2, they get control again on the map. That's heartbreak for Fnatic, these little mistakes coming back to bite them.
They're still in an okay position, as we said, only second dragon of the game for G2. A Mountain and an Infernal at their backs. It's a 700 gold difference, but you can see Caps, which is in such a strong position, has that Seeker's Arm Guard on his way to Azonius. Humanoid stacked up as well. The last Whisper in his inventory. Hoping we see that turn into a mortal reminder. Lord Dominic's regards, not very powerful at all on this patch in comparison. You get 10 extra AD, and you lose that Grievous Wounds passive. It's my favorite thing to talk about. I'm just like, just don't buy it, you know? Just don't buy it. For these two teams, though, sometimes you lose to Boris in a moment. Caps, okay.
Lose to Baron in a moment.
I mean, you would.
Just walks away.
You would definitely lose to Baron in that situation. Caps just trying to clear out the ward, accidentally ordering the Baron. Caps stepping forward, eats the sapling, dashes away. Oscarinin in the bottom side, not winning this matchup as aggressively as he'd like, and with Yike coming across, Oscarinin dives onto him, but he's done with the Seer, and the blaze is ticking. The ultimatum is one for Oscar's life, and G2 are happy to cash in that contract.
That focus from Fnatic that we saw in Game 1 and Game 2 seems to be slipping. G2 poised to punish these oversteps, set their sights on the mid-tier 1.
TP into the mid lane. Brokenblade has that flank position and has the all-out as well. Noah has to flash away. The 4-man Magnet Storm from Mikyx is answered with an Emperor's Divide from Caps. 1-for-1 so far in the exchange. Brokenblade low, Jun trying to tank as he gets back to the safety of the turret. Caps hit with a missile from absolutely Narnia. And Humanoid dashes in for more, but can he trade against Hans Summer? Hans flashes and gets it with the red buff.
What a play from G2! Mikyx finds the 4-man engage, and then somehow Fnatic start to bring it back. What's the finals MVP versus the Fnatic mid laner? But it all starts with this teleport from G2.
I mean, the engage looks good, but it's between two towers, boys. They find this great wombo combo, but in reality, it doesn't do that much to the carries. Noah gets chunked out massively, stays barely alive, and Humanoid's untouched. He forces a flash out from Yike. A nice tower shot connects onto Caps, followed up by the damage. Frustration from the fans of Fnatic. I mean, you turned that fight around.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I'm pretty sure you can find a G2 fan doing exactly the same thing after that fight. It is a game of millimeters. Mikyx is going to Hex Splash here. Straight onto Razork. He's going to get the lockup. Yike looking for that Seer as well. The Twisted Advance comes out and Razork has to flash away. Chain of Corruption invested as well by Noah.
Is that a
G2?
Baron?
I think it's the trigger, Betty.
That phase rush was crucial to Razork surviving, but now no flash. He's on a ward, and Yike is fishing for him.
Mikyx is there. Yike in the pit. Razork looking for anything. Fnatic might just look for the fight. The Baron down to 2,000. Should be secured by Yike. It is. Jun on that front line. The Pyroclasm dancing around. The Solar Flare dodged by Brokenblade. Mikyx goes in with a Magnet Storm, but this time he doesn't hit anyone. Down towards the bottom side. A Seer stun hits. And we'll see Oscarinin falling as well. So far a 1-for-1, but G2 have that purple buff circling, and they'll be very happy with that exchange.
I mean, they don't need to overforce the fight anymore. They've gotten what they came for. A single pick onto Razork converts it into the Baron. And now they set their sights on the mid-tier 2. All tier 2 towers will fall. G2 cement their gold lead. And while Fnatic continue to find great skirmishes, great fights, they're really not converting it into anything.
And they're starting to fall apart now as G2 playing well around vision, denying them access to the side lanes. This is where we should start to see Oscarinin really taking control as he starts to crest over into 2.5 to 3 items, but it's G2 who are holding steady, controlling when Fnatic get out onto the map. And now once more, 20 seconds. Infernal Dragon on the cards. Fnatic have first move, and it's Caps who's just only resetting now. Humanoid can always teleport to this fight.
Difficulty for Fnatic at the moment is Mikyx hitting some good Magnet Storms and Yike is hitting some good stuns, right? And as soon as that Blaze passive starts ricocheting between you, you have an Azir following up with the soldiers. It's so hard to ever get into the battle. Oscar needs to find that flank position. Will they fight for this sole point for G2?
Mikyx has no flash though, so that makes it a little bit easier for Fnatic do want to go for it. You always have to be careful though of that Fate's Call into setting up for that Magnet Storm, but it looks like Fnatic, once bitten, twice shy. They will retreat with their tail between their legs.
G2 saw themselves at the hands of Fnatic in the early game. They were falling prey to the outplays, to the missteps, but they were trading objectives, and that's proven to be the greater overall objective. They control the map well, their vision is superior, they've set their sights on the bot tier 3 now, but they choose not to overextend. They get the Maokai ultimate and they can wait for the next wave.
Buys Fnatic 30 seconds in which Humanoid can reset and hope he can hold on, but that is a big tool down for Fnatic, and that may just be enough to try and keep them pushing and keeping control, but with 40 seconds left before that Baron buff runs out, looks like it'll be the resets and look to fight another day.
Baron going to expire, as we say, in 30 seconds time. Double buffs available for G2 as well. Go pick up that red, go pick up that blue. Make sure that you have those for your team in the next battle. In terms of itemization, we see 3 for Hans Sama, matched by 3 for Noah. Both of them gone Blade. Ginsu's Terminus, plated steel caps. It is a Lord Dominic's regards for Humanoid. I'll shut up about that now. The
Sure.
Rabadons, the Nashers, and the Zhonya's complete for Camps. So it's 3 apiece in mid. Lightning Jewel for Camps with that little bit of extra magic penetration. The BF Sword for some bigger autos for Humanoid. Is Mikyx overextending? The answer so far is no, but Fnatic are looking for him. They're looking for him, and the answer swiftly turns to yes. Mikyx down, Fnatic with their patented Bush strategy once again find a pick.
A valuable pick, but what objective can they convert it into? The mid lane wave has been pushed. The bot lane wave has been pushed. They can push in top wave, but Humanoid's already taken all the towers there, and Hansama, he's even going to be cheeky. He knows that there's 4 people top lane, and so he's going to push another wave as well. Fnatic, they find these picks, but it's been the story of this game where the kill just doesn't convert into anything.
And Mickey's back on the map in 10 seconds, so you're only just going to get those waves essentially back to where they were before you have to do the dance again. G2, we're going to be able to keep positioning here and make sure that they're kind of just fine. Like, again, I think Fnatic, it's nice that you're getting these picks, but and you will get an Infinity Edge now for Humanoid, but it has to be enough to leverage at this next team fight. And I think for Oscarinin, it's if he can finish off this Derek's Gage, that's really where he'll be a threat in these fights. But with Zhonya's Hourglass for Caps, not only is he significantly safer from an Oscarinin, he can also be a major threat as an engage, and here's the TP for that matter.
Second TP as well coming out from G2, Mikyx for that flank. Jun trying to get to the blast cone. Caps goes in onto Oscarinin. How long will he wait before he hookshot wall dives? The Magnet Storm hits onto 2. Noah trying to join the fray. Nature's Guard's coming out. Humanoid already low. The cleanse coming out onto him. And look at the damage being answered back. The Blaze doing so much work, but so far it's a 2 for 2. And Caps and Hansama still have full HP to run down Fnatic. Razork flashes across the wall. Should be able to escape. It's going to be a 2v3 in defense of the base for Fnatic.
The flank was flawless. It ends up being a 2 for 3 as Fnatic fight valiantly to turn the fight around. Humanoid still putting out great damage, but the difference is too great. Caps on the Azir is left untouched, and they run away with the fight.
And what a difference Caps has been in this game 3. This Azir has given him significantly more confidence. And this is just a fight here. Great engage from Mikyx once more. Caps dealing a ton of damage. Yike pressuring Razork on the side. And because he's got the bounce, Razork can't go in to help the rest of his team, which means that they're just left on their own to be ran down by Caps and Hansama. There's just nothing Fnatic could do in that instance.
They didn't lose much from it, though. As you can see, their inhibitor towers still stand. The Baron up in 20 seconds time, the Drake in a minute.
It's true.
It is soul point for G2. If they get that Infernal Soul, I'm not sure any strength of man could withstand the onslaught from Caps and from Yike and from Hansama. But Fnatic still hold on. There's still a light at the end of the tunnel. You still have a 4-item Corki. You still have the ability to step in like this, but the stun landing onto Jun with Mikyx coming across. There's the Shadowing Strike, and with the Blaze there, Nature's Grasp now used by Fnatic just to disengage. Broken Blade will be happy enough, tanking up that. Takes another missile down to half HP. Doesn't have the TP, though, so can't reset in time to get back out for the Baron if that's what we see Fnatic fighting for. However, they go up towards the Baron side. The Infernal Drake in the eyes of G2. Always a possibility. BB's working his way down there right now. Think he's collecting some honey fruit. Don't blame him for being a little bit hungry in the middle of game 3 of this best of 5. It's been intense. It's been back and forth. Mikyx looking for that engage. No flash for him, but a Magnet Storm as Caps dives in onto Humanoid. The Sun Disc comes down. Zenith player. There's the Magnet Storm, but it's only onto Oscarinin. That's enough for G2. They find one. Razork trunk down towards the bottom side. Noah looking for the Chain of Corruption. He's stunned with the Seer. I thought I liked it rare, but G2 won this fight. Well done. They're dominating. They clear up 4 of Fnatic. Only Jun stands in their way.
The Azir play into the Seer play into the end of the game for G2. They will march on down after controlling everything Fnatic attempted to throw at them.
Disconnected from Fnatic. They couldn't make the initiation work. They could not find that angle, and G2 shut them down. They will look to take us to match point.
The G2 army, loud in voice, they know one more the call for the men in black. The question is, can the white and orange stand in their way? G2 won away from an LEC championship.
Honestly, a great bounce-back performance from G2 after the early game was not going their way at all. They found consistent cross maps, they prioritized objectives, and then they leveraged those objectives into just controlling the rest of the game. Fnatic constantly felt like they were playing catch-up, and they lost that moment of focus. Coming into game 4, they need to come together and find it once more.
They definitely do. We'll see if they can bounce back, see if they can take us to game 5 once again. We'll be right back. Don't you dare go anywhere.
They know what the duck they're doing. Let's go to game 4, baby. Yeah.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Can't believe we lost to NA.
We'll be fine.
Yeah, we always are.
Yeah.
Psst, Pedro, do you and Laure want to go on a legendary adventure with Marriott Bonvoy? Just go ahead and press that button. Over 30 hotel brands, 10,000 global destinations, over 8,000 hotels worldwide. Where can we take you?
Oh, it's Berlin.
Let's go.
Marriott Bonvoy. Unlock exclusive member rates and legendary benefits across over 30 hotel brands worldwide. Sign up today for free and claim your Masterwork chest and key.
Somos los que surgimos de donde nadie esperaba. Los que vimos que algo nuevo empezaba. Somos el grito que atraviesa tu pantalla. Locos, frikis, ídolos y haters. Nada nos define, nada nos detiene. Bienvenidos todos los que llegan. Aquí nadie queda fuera. El camino que nos queda es tu inicio, tu carrera. Sube el nivel de lo que llega. Porque cada día un progreso nos espera. Level up your dreams.